Hey guys, this is Sparkblood Soldier here, and thanks for voting on which characters you want for a Ghost What If. What if Deku had squiggly abilities? The Singing Dead. And I hope you like this video and hope you subscribe. In 1920s, Sumi Midoriya was going to have a birthday, and her family is throwing a huge surprise. And Sumi was having a wonderful birthday, but one very uncertain surprise came, and then the Magici's Mafia were attacking and taking out every member of her family. But then the leader called Black Delilah, saying, what a wonderful birthday you have, and walking towards the hostage. Such a very lacking thing. I was hoping a more challenge and carnage, but oh well. Black Delilah grabs Sumi's ponytail, and Black Delilah gets her to the wall and says, well, I wouldn't say no to a very nice birthday for ya, Miss Midoriya, and then puts her gun in Sumi's head and says, happy birthday, Sumi, and the click of her gun, and her gun shoots a hole through Sumi's head, and Sumi falls down on the ground. And then her father was injured as well, but her mother, something else was wrong. Her father says, Leviathan! And a little being coming out of her father's shoulder and says, keep my daughter safe and make sure to protect her. And then Leviathan goes into Sumi's head through the open wound and sealing it shut with his body. And whenever Sumi reappears with a skull heart, she won't be mindless, but she will come back to life. Then she felt, what the? And then her mother wished from the skull heart, wanting her daughter back. And then Sumi goes and tries to stop her, and Leviathan says, be careful, my lady. And Sumi says, Leviathan? And Leviathan says, it is good to see you, Sumi. And Sumi says, Leviathan! And hugging Leviathan, petting him with how much love, seeing him with her. And Sumi then says, wait, you're there? And feeling her head, and Leviathan says, yes, that woman shot you, Black Delilah. And Sumi says, well, this is saddening for sure. Leviathan says, I will help you on getting rid of the skull heart from your mouth. And Sumi says, thank you. Then the fight ensures, and Sumi was taking out her mother from having the skull heart, but she didn't defeat the skull heart, but saved her mother from the skull heart, but she died. Then Sumi goes into a deep slumber for every 30 years. If the skull heart ever reappears, she'll come out, get rid of the skull heart once and for all with her trusty companion, Leviathan. But when she was in her slumber, she had her mouth sewed by the Magici Mafia, or more particular, Black Delilah. Black Delilah says, oh, Sumi, what is the problem with you? Why can't you just stay dead? And Black Delilah then walks away, but saying this word, your punishment has already just been ongoing for you, isn't it? While walking away, Squigly got buried with her mouth sewed up to never speak again. The only person who could understand her is Leviathan, because she could communicate with her in her mind. And then every 30 years, Zumi has stopped Skullheart from different people. But then there's going to be the next generation where she slowly sees lots of people that have powers that are very different from hers. From her understanding, she heard the word quirk, and Leviathan says, Zumi, what's the matter? Zumi then tries to think, it seems that there's lots of people using quirks, per se. Am I not wrong? And Leviathan says, yes, my lady, but I haven't seen much of people having yet. And Zumi then says, I think I'll let the Skullheart be for a bit. And Leviathan says, are you sure you know how the Skullheart is? And Zumi says, yes, but I do need to reinvigorate myself in the society. And then Leviathan says, I will help you understand this and adapt more to this generation. And then Zumi walks in good old UK, or United Kingdom. And Zumi then walks around looking at all the buildings that she rarely had any time to look. It seems like Big Ben has really stayed the same a bit. Communicating to Leviathan. Yes, it is true. It is an archetype, a founding figure, per se. And then Zumi goes around and then sees a person throwing a can at her. And was confused. Then the kid says, we don't want you here. And Zumi says, pardon? And Leviathan says, Leviathan says, was in weirdness of what the young kid said. And then the kid says, quirk users like you don't belong here. And Zumi was confused on what he's saying. And Leviathan then says this, I think I know what's happening. And Zumi says, what's the matter? And Leviathan explains it. Well, Zumi, you think you're going to be taking a hero program or taking a job? And Zumi says, why does he think that? And Leviathan says, I don't know, but we can ask other people. But some of the other people were a little hesitant on telling her on what's happening. And Zumi then tries to get a very good understanding of it. And Zumi then thinks, they're not very cooperative, Leviathan. Leviathan says, I guess that's not usual. And Leviathan then says this, sometimes changes cannot be forced, but you have to wait. And Zumi was confused. What do you mean? In 1920s, Leviathan says, we in different places, you know the racial discrimination, Leviathan says. And Zumi says, you mean like this? Well, Leviathan says in a very uncomfortable saying, but yes, but this is far less brutal. And Zumi says, I'm not usually very mean or uncomfortable with the other races. And Leviathan says, yes, that is a noble trait of yours, but this is very different. It's all about jobs. I understand, but you need to calm down. And Zumi then thinks, maybe other countries could help me understand this. Then, a few months have gone by. Zumi has left Skullheart be for a bit, but this is coming from different places, where she has Leviathan's purple flames to escort her to different places, to Africa, Russia, China, Germany, about almost every country, except Japan, which is where the Skull Heart is beating. And Sumi says, we're almost to Skull Heart, thinking to Leviathan. And Leviathan says, yes, my lady, but we need to be cautious. We do not want to fail, and I do not want to fail you. Then Sumi goes and sees Japan having a very welcoming in the way, but also somewhat discriminating. And then Leviathan says, not surprising. And Sumi then says, I think I did remember something about Japan, but I never gone there. Leviathan says, I think I remember China having the look on us. They're different, but they have a similar tongue. I said similar, not equal. They have similar kanjis, but very hard to say. And Sumi says, well, you are my translator, but I can understand them as well. And Leviathan says, thank you, my lady. Sumi and Leviathan were out of the airport and wandered around Japan and were interested in what year and why the quirks are despised, but also might be a good thing. But then Sumi then looks at the TV. And Leviathan says, what's the matter, madam? And Sumi says, seeing a woman with a unique gear that she never seen. And Leviathan says, what an interesting power. She floats like a man of steel. I heard from every comic that happened in 1920. And Sumi was at awe what she seen. Sumi says, I think we need to take a visit. And Leviathan then says, right away, but be careful. I have not very faithful trust in the streets. And Sumi says, I will. And Sumi then goes and tries to find that woman that she saw. She comes across with a crook stealing from a old lady's purse. And Sumi then sees the man running. The old woman says, hey, give it back. And Sumi then says, Leviathan, we need to help. And Leviathan says, alright, be careful. And Sumi looks at the old woman and looks at her with a gracious but kind smile, giving her a good look of, don't worry, I got this. And Leviathan says, hurry, let's go, Sumi. And Sumi says, okay, Leviathan. And Sumi runs to the thug, at the same catching up to him in mere seconds. And Thug says, what the hell? Alright, and uses his quirk, going to give her a shock. Sumi then sees electricity out of his hand, and Sumi dodges. And Sumi was at a confused state on that quirk that they were talking about, but keeps on chasing him. And Leviathan says, be careful, his quirk is seen to be electricity. And Sumi says, relax, I faced faster opponents before. Leviathan says, I know, be careful. He seems to be cheeky. The thug throws some trash cans in the way, trying to slow down Sumi. And Sumi says, oh, my mannerism. And Leviathan says, right, give him, I'll show him how to treat a person. And Leviathan then creates a purple spiritual attack. Take this, and fire a spiritual flame at him. And the man says, what the hell? And dodges the attack. Never seen that flame before. And tries to lose them. But Sumi was getting in the tie, catching up to that thug. Leviathan says, this person is unique on how he uses his electricity. And Sumi says, what's the matter, Leviathan? And Leviathan says, nothing. I highly doubt we can last it longer. We're just holding back on him, but quirks are unique to us, so we need to be cautious as well. Right, and Sumi, when going to chasing the thug was caught by the woman that Sumi saw on TV. Wait, her eyes were wide and surprised to see the woman. And Leviathan says, looks like we found her. And the woman says, oh man, thank you two. I was dealing with a other villain, but thanks for the help as well. And the woman says, my name is Nana Shimura. I'm the Smile Hero. It's very nice to meet you. And Zumi then gives Nana Shimura a greetings, a bow, and Leviathan translates her. Greetings, my name is Leviathan, and this is Zumi Midoriya. And Nana Shimura says, that is a very unique look. I haven't seen this from here. Are you from a different country? And Leviathan says, yes, we're from a different country. And Nana Shimura says, you look so unique with that power of the quirk. What's it called? And Sumi then says, in confusion. And Leviathan says, excuse our pardons, but we don't know what you call this quirk. And Nana Shimura says, a quirk is basically a superpower. It has been detached on different people, but it's still welcome in certain situations. It's mostly a problem because of jobs. People think they're going to be not useful. And Sumi says, so that's what they meant. And Leviathan says, that's a good answer. And Nana Shimura says, so, where are you from? I'm taking the guess you're from Europe. And Sumi then shakes her head. Then Nana Shimura looks at her mouth. Oh my, put stitches on your mouth. And Sumi says, I don't know, in her facial expression. And then Nana Shimura says, alright, I'll get you to a person. First we gotta drop him off to the police station. And Sumi agrees. And Leviathan says, on the way, Miss Shimura. But when they were leaving, a woman on a building says, Miss Delilah, we found Squigly. And Delilah said, good, it's been such a long time since we first met. Seems she's been taking out the skull heart. How annoying, but I don't care. When power arises, I take it with anarchy. And then the girl said, there's the hero called Nana Shimura. And Delilah says, you mean All For One's rival? How annoying. But I don't care. I would just be done with her. But All For One is just such a buzzkill. That's where I'm ending this video. I hope you liked this video and hope you subscribe. See you next time. Bless all.